Yo, we up in the ring, breaking news with a jab. Ringside Ramble got the stories you grab. Video clips, front row, you won't miss the brawl. Big hits, KOs, we got it all.
Welcome back to Ringside Ramble. It's me, Niall, here bringing you all the latest news, views and breakdowns from around the world of professional boxing. In this video, I'm going to be discussing what's next for the legendary Katie Taylor after a phenomenal victory by razor-thin decision in the rematch against Amanda Serrano this past Saturday night at the AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Yeah, an epic fight, a very divisive, controversial result in some people's eyes, but Katie Taylor got it done to go 2-0 in that rivalry. And yeah, I'll be discussing what I think is next, what I hope is going to be next for Katie Taylor after a long and illustrious amateur and professional career. So yeah, before we get into today's video, please don't forget, if you like what you see, if you enjoy my content, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give the video a like, share it, follow us over on X. Always great content to engage with, and I really appreciate all the support that I can get in growing the page. It's been amazing support so far. I'm grateful for everybody who's subscribed to the channel and followed me on social media. So any more of you who haven't subscribed, please get on it. If you enjoy the content, I'd really appreciate it. Like the video, follow us on X, all that good stuff, and yeah, thanks a lot. So yeah, to get into today's video, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano 2 went down on Saturday evening at the AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas, across the boxing fans' main event of the evening. We won't even really discuss the other circus that took place in the actual main event, but yeah, it was an epic fight. Both women picked up exactly where they left off from the first fight. That fight was a classic, and this fight was a classic as well. You know, it was a long time coming, the rematch, and yeah, it didn't fail to deliver of what most people hoped it would be. You know, Katie Taylor winning in the end by a razor-thin decision victory, a very controversial decision victory in a lot of people's eyes. You know, mostly kind of the American fan base, you know, the Serrano fan base thinking she'd done enough to win, and people crying robbery. Whoever cried robbery is talking absolute nonsense. You know, it was nowhere near a robbery, and it does a disservice to both fighters. I know Amanda Serrano had a bit of a kind of, you know, a bit of a rant herself after the fight, but you know, my biggest pet hate in boxing is people calling robbery when it's a close fight, especially when it's as good a fight as that. There was a lot of close rounds in there, but I think Katie Taylor done enough to deserve the win, to deserve the decision win after a great fight. It does a disservice to both women to call it a robbery. It makes no sense to call it a robbery. It's far too close for that. You know, it's very irritating, but you're always going to have those people, unfortunately, that can't accept a result when it doesn't go their way. But yeah, Katie Taylor gets it done. Credit to both women. You know, a trilogy is. We're going to talk about what I think should be next for Katie Taylor, but if she does continue to box, I think a trilogy, there's no point. As good as the two fights have been, Katie Taylor's 2-0 now against Amanda Serrano. Whether you think that's justified or not, they were two very close fights that Katie Taylor got the nod in. So yeah, trilogy is out of the question. But yeah, I can just apologise for, you know, an Irishman. This might sound like a really biased video towards Katie Taylor, even what I've spoken about so far, but yeah, no, I'm gonna kind of change the tune now and say that I think what's next for Katie Taylor after her big win on Saturday night, I think Katie Taylor should call it a day. I really do. I think she should go out on top. You know, she has nothing left to prove anymore to anybody. You know, people will say, will her legacy be tarnished with, you know, the controversial results, quote unquote controversial results against Amanda Serrano. You know, the close fight with Cameron, the loss to Cameron. You know, if she doesn't rematch Cameron, will that be tarnishing her legacy? That is absolutely disgraceful to say her legacy will be tarnished, or there would be an asterisk against her legacy if she was to call it a day today. Again, buckle up, because it might sound like a biased video, but if I can't help it. If I was Irish, English, American, you have to appreciate the greatness of Katie Taylor. You really do. The greatest amateur female boxer of all time. Her amateur record will probably never be beaten. European championships, world championships, all top amateur gold medals she's won numerous times over. She was instrumental in bringing boxing for women to the Olympic Games. She nearly single-handedly was the sole reason that boxing women were allowed to compete at the Olympic Games in boxing, across a huge occasion in London 2012, where she became the first female gold medalist, the first female boxing gold medalist. Ireland's first female boxing gold medalist, only our second gold medalist in boxing in the history of the Olympic Games. So she made history as an amateur. Her amateur record will never be broken. She went to Rio in 2016, failed to medal, but that was only because she was going through so much personal stuff in her own life that kind of affected her build-up, her preparation to those games, which was unfortunate that the greatest amateur of all time was robbed of such a kind of momentous double gold medal that many expected her to get before the games began. So yeah, she turned professional immediately after the Olympic Games under Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing, and she was a star immediately. She was headlining immediately, and she was worthy of it from her amateur career. And she just blew people away with speed. I'm speaking about her like she's already retired, but you get what I'm saying. She came into the lightweight division, and nobody could match her. Nobody could match her in terms of IQ, speed, footwork, timing, all that sort of stuff. And she registered good wins. Women's boxing gets a lot of kind of flack for the standard of fighters, but she beat very, very good top contenders around her weight class. Early on, she beat Jessica McCaskill in York Hall. We seen what Jessica McCaskill went on to do, beating Cecilia Brækhus twice. That win age like wine. She beat Rose Valente, she beat Eva Wallström. She beat, even later on, she beat Karen Elizabeth Carvajal. Top fighters, many of them unbeaten. They hadn't tasted defeat. Gutierrez hadn't been beaten before she fought Katie Taylor. She beat Natasha Jonas, of course, amateur standout herself. Natasha Jonas she defeated. So yeah, she's beaten really, really top operators. Delphine Persoon, she proved that she's not all flash. She fought Delphine Persoon, a veteran, experienced, big, rangy, can punch. Across New York, Madison Square Garden, an absolute epic. Another quite kind of divisive result, should I say, that Katie Taylor got the nod on, but again, it wasn't a robbery. It was too close to be declared a robbery, in my opinion. She dug in. She's proved that in her career, that she loves to dig in, she loves to fight on the inside, she loves to have a brawl with opponents. It's not good for a kind of biased Irish fan and a fan of Katie Taylor that she kind of puts herself in these situations when she can easily outclass and outbox fighters. But it is exciting for a quote-unquote neutral, and she proves that she can dig in against the top fighters in her weight class and dig out a result. She won unified world titles at lightweight, beat Persoon, rematched Delphine Persoon in another epic Matchroom fight camp, won that. Another really entertaining fight. She moves up to super lightweight. She beats top names. Again, as I mentioned, Carvajal, she beats Cindy Serrano, Amanda Serrano's sister. And then she secures a real legacy defining professional fight against Amanda Serrano, the legendary multiweight world champion, the first ever female headliner at Madison Square Garden. Wins an epic, a very, very tight epic. That cements her legacy in the pro game as a legendary fighter, the greatest female fighter of all time. That might be biased, no disrespect to Clarissa Shields, who takes that mantle currently for herself, but You know, I think Katie Taylor edges it over Clarissa Shields, judging by what she's done both as an amateur and as a professional. I think she's beaten better names, of course different weight classes, but I think she's had a higher standard of competition around her weight class that she's beaten. You know, it's very close though, but I'm going to have to edge it to Katie Taylor for the Irish biased connection. But yeah, she beat Serrano in an epic. A lot of people thought that was her last stand then, you know, she was due to rematch Serrano pulls out, and what many people believe to be a tougher stand-in late replacement, Chantel Cameron, steps in, and we've seen what happened there. Chantel Cameron went to the Lions Den in Dublin and won. Credit to her, great performance, but there's no shame in that. Chantel Cameron's a world-class operator, absolutely world-class, and she beat Katie Taylor. She comes back for the rematch. Taylor, people wrote her off, and to be honest, I wrote her off. She showed signs of slowing down, whether it be in the Pursuing fights, whether it be in the Serrano fight, and then the Cameron first fight, she showed signs of slowing down, and a lot of people wrote her off in that one and thought she couldn't defeat Cameron in a rematch, but she proved her greatness again. Defeated Cameron, got that one back, and then another epic in front of her hometown crowd. There was a lot of pressure there after the first loss in front of her own people, her own country people there in Dublin. So she dug in, she got the win, majority decision against Chantel Cameron. Proved her greatness when a lot of people thought she was past her best. You know, and then she fights Amanda Serrano, and she's written off again against Amanda Serrano. Again, I wrote her off, more fooled me and more fooled everybody else who did. I thought the odds were stacked against her. You know, for those who watched my preview on the channel, I thought it was too much. I thought she was too inactive, she'd slowed down too much, she'd passed her best. You know, Serrano had been too active, and it was on an MVP promotion bill, so I thought Katie Taylor would have to beat her too widely or even stop her to get a win. So, you know, she proves what great fighters do when they're considered written off, when they're considered finished, you know, and nobody really gives them a chance in these fights. She pulled out a marvellous performance, she boxed beautifully, she dug in when she had to, you know, against the biggest threat to her, what many people believe to be the biggest threat to her, who'd given her hell in the first fight at 38 years of age, and she dug in and she got an incredible win. What will probably go down as the best win of her career in the circumstances for me is the Amanda Serrano rematch win. As much as it's shrouded in controversy from idiots who thought it was a robbery, that's the biggest win of her career. So I think, as I said, I know I'm rambling here and I'm probably being too biased, but I think Katie Taylor should call it a day. She's nothing left to prove, you know, 38 years old, a long and grueling amateur and professional career. What more do you have to prove? Undisputed super lightweight champion, unified lightweight champion. You've beaten everybody. You've beaten Cameron in a rematch. You've beaten Serrano twice. You know, you've beaten Natasha Jonas. You've beaten Jessica McCaskill. What names are there that would prove anything to anybody? There's the big names. There's the likes of, you know, who she hasn't fought already. There's Terry Harper, Sandy Ryan, Michaela Mayer, Alicia Baumgardner. I don't see how they would set Katie Taylor's legacy or tarnish her legacy by not fighting those names. I really don't. I just think she's proved it. She's proved it way more than the names that I've mentioned to prove that. Of course, they're top fighters, world-class fighters. You know, Baumgardner, Harper, Ryan, Mayer. They've proved that they're world-class themselves, but let them take the mantle now. Katie Taylor doesn't need a passing of the torch fight. She's proved her level, you know, and if she retires without fighting those names, it's not going to tarnish them at all. You know, if she moves up, you know, she could move up again to welterweight. You know, fight the likes of Cecilia Brækhus, you know, who's seen better days. You know, Lauren Price has not earned a fight with Katie Taylor. Lauren Price is a quality fighter, but you can't tell me that she's earned a fight with Katie Taylor yet. You know, just these sort of names that are, as I say, let them take the mantle now and kind of pave the way for female boxing, you know, and kind of be at that elite level and promote female boxing to the highest level. Katie Taylor's done it all. She really has done it all, and I hope that she calls it a day now. Of course, I'm not in a position to kind of tell anybody to retire, not by any means, but I'd love to see her retire at her age. She'd have a bright future as a coach at any level, amateur, professional. The knowledge that she'd have to pass on, and I just hate to see her lose to somebody that wouldn't have got near her at her peak. She might be everybody I just named. To be honest with you, I'd pick her against everybody I just named. Baumgardner, Harper, Ryan, Mayer, Price, McCaskill rematch, Cecilia Breakus. I think she'd still beat them all. I'm sick of writing her off. I've done it for the Cameron and Serrano rematches. I wouldn't do it again, but get out on top. It's very rare in boxing to get out on top, so I'd love to see her call it a day, sail off into the sunset, become a coach, and just, she's made enough money now from professional boxing in itself to live happily. So get out with your faculties, get out with your all-time great legacy, the greatest of all time legacy that you've built, and just call it a day and get out on top. But that's just my opinion. That's a kind of a rambling discussion on how I think Katie Taylor should call it a day now from the sport of professional boxing, following a long and grueling amateur and professional career after an epic rematch victory over Amanda Serrano this past Saturday night at the AT&T Stadium in Dallas, where she closed that chapter, although a lot of people think it's not going to be closed anytime soon with how close the two fights were. So I think call it a day, get out on top. You've nothing left to prove. You've had an incredible career, the best career ever, so it'd be amazing to see her step away while she's on top. But that's just my opinion. As I say, I can't force anyone to retire. I'm not kind of urging anyone to retire. She'll do what she wants to do. So let us know what you think in the comments. How impressed were you with her performance on Saturday night? How much did you enjoy that fight? Who did you think won? And overall, what do you think of her legacy, Katie Taylor? Is she the best female fighter ever? And what should she do next? Should she call it a day, or should she fight on, whether it be a Cameron rematch, a Serrano trilogy, or any of the names that I mentioned? Let us know what you think in the comments. And as always, as I mentioned at the start of every video, if you like what you see, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel. Getting close to 100 subscribers now, is small but massive milestone for me personally in starting this channel. Thanks to everybody who subscribed so far. So like, subscribe, share, follow us on X. Always great content to engage with. And until next time, speak again and take care.